Harold Blauer, once a promising and well-known professional tennis player, became a name tragically intertwined with one of the darkest chapters in American medical and intelligence history. His life cut short by a covert government program designed not to heal minds, but to control them. Born in 1914, Blauer had lived a largely respectable life, with athletic success marking his early years. But after the breakdown of his marriage and a series of emotional struggles, he voluntarily admitted himself to the New York State Psychiatric Institute in Manhattan in late 1952, hoping to receive treatment for depression. Unknown to him, and tragically, without his consent or knowledge, he was placed at the center of a highly classified, illegal chemical experimentation project conducted under the aegis of the Central Intelligence Agency, known only by its code name at the time, MKULTRA. The program, which operated under layers of secrecy and without meaningful oversight, had been developed in the early Cold War years as part of an effort to find ways to manipulate, control, and even erase human thoughts and behaviors. Under the belief that mind control could serve as a weapon against the communist threat, MKUltra operatives sought chemical compounds that could alter cognition, perception, and psychological defenses. Harold Blauer, suffering from mental illness and in a state of vulnerability, was administered multiple experimental injections during his stay at the hospital. But the fatal dose, given to him on January 8, 1953, contained a massive quantity of 3,4-methylene-deoxyamphetamine, MDA, a potent hallucinogenic drug related to MDMA, which was being tested under contract by the U.S. Army's Chemical Corps. The psychiatrist in charge, Dr. Paul Hock, was aware of the nature of the drug, but chose not to inform Blauer or obtain informed consent. Within hours of the injection, Blauer experienced violent convulsions, delirium, and eventual cardiac arrest. He died the same day. His medical records were then deliberately falsified by the hospital staff and government officials, who fabricated the cause of death to avoid public scrutiny, stating that he had died of heart failure. Related to his mental condition, the full truth of his death remained buried for decades, covered under layers of classified files, misdirection, and silence. It was not until the mid-1970s, following explosive congressional hearings led by Senators Frank Church and Edward Kennedy into covert CIA operations, that the existence of MKUltra was publicly acknowledged. The hearings revealed widespread ethical abuses, including experiments conducted on prisoners, psychiatric patients, and other vulnerable populations. All without informed consent, in flagrant violation of medical ethics and basic human rights. Blauer's case was among the most egregious, highlighting how government agencies, under the guise of national security, collaborated with research institutions and universities to carry out psychological and pharmacological testing on unwitting individuals. Following the declassification of key documents in the 1970s and a protracted legal battle by his surviving family and attorneys, the federal government finally acknowledged its role in Blauer's death. In 1987, nearly 35 years after he had died, Harold Blauer's estate was awarded $700,000 in damages in an out-of-court settlement by the U.S. Department of Justice, though no formal apology was issued. The compensation, while substantial, could never account for the magnitude of the betrayal, the suffering endured by Blauer, or the lasting psychological scars inflicted on his family. His death became a haunting symbol of what can happen when science, secrecy, and power intersect without oversight, transparency, or accountability. Today, Blauer's story serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the ethical boundaries that must never be crossed, even in the name of national security, and the importance of safeguarding the rights of individuals, especially those unable to defend themselves. While MKULTRA has long since been shuttered, the ghost of its legacy lives on in stories like Harold Blauer's, where a man seeking help was instead sacrificed on the altar of covert science, his identity stripped and reduced to a case number in a file marked classified, only to be rediscovered years later as one of the many casualties in the war for the mind.